Okay, so some of this rebuilding of my shop that I've been working on kind of has been inspired by another YouTuber. There's a guy that I've been watching forever. His name is Marty Zoffinger, and he's got a YouTube channel. His passion is kayak fishing, which is something that I'm also very interested in. But he also tends to throw some really great strings together about different. He's been through many phases of his life with this fishing and doing other things. So when I first saw him, he was starting off with a very inexpensive uh, kayak, just one of the cheaper ones. And he was showing you how you could modify it by doing things like using PVC, and he put a really nice seat in it for his fishing and all that kind of stuff. And that was the old days. And I was always impressed at the stuff that he was coming up with. He's a very creative guy. Well, currently, he has got a playlist. I'll put the link to his channel somewhere up here for you, and you can check it out. But currently, he's got a playlist going of a shop that he is building. He is now living on a piece of land in Florida. This is where his fishing is. He's back. He kind of fishes like Florida, I think some of the Carolinas, and he fishes in the brackish water. So he gets to fish for things I don't even see here, like snook and let me see here, sheephead and other things like that. It's just fascinating to me, the kind of things that he has. But he's a very creative person, like I was saying. So currently, he is building a shop out of a discarded truck trailer from, it was an old Goodwill Industries truck trailer. And he's building the shop on the inside of it, and how he's building it and the methodology he's using to how he wants access to his tools. And he's got all kinds of cool things like solar powered battery system in it and stuff like that. And it's pretty fascinating. So check it out. And I just wanted you to know why I'm, trying to take some time to get my shop in order, because I want to do this building, but I also want it to be very efficient. That's kind of the OCD in me. I want to have things laid out so that time is everything. And if you're spending less time wandering around looking for your tools and trying to figure out where you left something, all to the better as far as I'm concerned. So today we're going to be working on this pegboard project that's behind me here. And we'll go ahead and build something so that I can put my most used tools right where I could get to them all the time. So let's get started. As you can see, we've got the pegboard now completely up, and it looks great. So I'm already starting to hang a few tools over here. I got my couple of hammers I put up, and things are going pretty well. But what I wanted to do is to continue my getting tools where I can get to them easily. One thing I wanted to do is put up a rack that will hold my ball wrenches and some screwdrivers and maybe a couple other tools, like maybe a needle nose pliers and a scissors and maybe just two regular bigger screwdrivers, because they get used quite a bit too while I'm wandering around the shop. So anyways, here's what I've come up with. This is a piece of plywood. This was in the scrap bin. And so what I think I'm going to do is I've gone ahead, and you can see on here how I've marked all of the spots for these various tools to go. So this will be the SAE row back here, and this will be my metric row in the front. Now back here I've got 6 different precision screwdrivers. We'll stretch those across here. I think I'm going to end up putting a couple of regular screwdrivers up on the front here, maybe a needle nose pliers, and then also a slot for me to put a scissors in there, because those tend to be the tools I use that I constantly go into the drawer for, and they're constantly remaining on the table because I don't want to take them all the way back to the drawer. But if I had a nice holder that kept them at bay all the time, that would work great. So here's the way that this works. This board, you see these things on the end here, these are pegboard holders. So these are attachments that you put into 3/16" pegboard. They're all spaced so that they're to fit in there perfectly. So what I did was I took a couple of those, and if you look at this one carefully, you can see that that has an upward slant. So when it's in here, it's kind of like the ones that hold a hammer or something like that. It puts a little bit of a slope on it so it'll hold the hammer against that wall perfectly. I don't need that. So what I've done is I've taken a couple of them and put them into this back of this board. I drilled a hole in the back of the plywood board so that each one of them can go in there, and then they just kind of slide right into it and hold it. And so when the board is complete, it will look something like this hanging on the shelf. See, it holds there. So the screwdrivers will be sticking, the screwdrivers and ball wrenches will be sticking up in here. It'll be great. So I'm really excited to get going on this. Let's see the next step here. Since I've got everything kind of, let go. You got to let go, sir. Okay, so the main thing to do at this point is going to be to drill out each one of these holes to hold the specific ball wrenches that are going to go into them. And the trick is you kind of want to make them just a little bit bigger than the ball wrench. So you're going to be making a different size hole all the way down the board depending on how big the ball wrench is. And you want to give them a little bit of space. I mean, actually, you could go ahead and make them all. You want to make the big one, so it's got a little bit of less tolerance, I guess. And next step will be to go ahead and drill these out. And then I'm going to have to use a scroll saw to cut some slots into here for those two different varying pieces, the needle nose pliers and the scissors. They're going to need a slot instead of a hole drilled through. So anyways, that's it. I say anyways a lot, don't I? That's like, don't worry about it. Anyway, it'll be fine. Huh. So here we go. Hi, welcome back. As you can see, I'm dressed completely different now. I shot this clip yesterday. This is my second time doing this because I got all the way done with it and I realized that the microphones had died. And, I don't do silent movies. Not well, doesn't work very well. You know what I mean? Okay, so anyhow, let's go ahead and finish this project out here. I'm going to show you what we've got. Here's the finished drilled out board. So I've got the slots that I use the scroll saw. What you do very simply is you just drill a hole down in there that the saw blade will fit into, and then you take the saw blade apart on the scroll saw, pop it up through there and reassemble it, and then go ahead and go about your business. That way you don't make any treks out of here. And then the rest are just all the drill holes. I tried to neaten this up. Plywood is hard to work with, really. It's not a very beautiful wood. So anyways, I went ahead and did a little bit of sanding with the belt sander over there. I think ultimately what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to take and, depending on my OCD level, I might go ahead and just paint this thing like a white or something like that and put the tools in it. But, this is just a tool holder. It doesn't need to be super fancy, and I kind of like the rustic look anyway. So I might just leave it alone. Still on the fence about it, but let me go ahead and show you what the finished assembled product is going to do here. And you can see I already got one problem. I left the hooks over here.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
And then, Alexa feels like she needs to jump in on shit. Okay, so let me go ahead and just take a second to reassemble the boards, or the hooks in here. And I was trying to figure out if maybe I should glue these in, but I don't think it needs to be done. I mean, they go far enough into this wood. And they're not like super loose either. That's a pretty tight fit. All right, so here we go. We've got the board, we've got the hooks. Let's go ahead and mount it into the wall where I'm going to put it. That went nicely. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll start adding the pieces in right now. Start off with the back row, which is my SAE row. And then we've got the screwdrivers going from large to small on the Phillips here. And then after that, we go from the large to the small on the slotted. And those all fit in there nicely. Let's go up in the front row here. These are just a couple of standard screwdrivers because it's always good to have a screwdriver available. And let's see here. Let's continue on. Let's go ahead and put the metrics up in the front row, starting with the 5mm. And slipping it down to the 3 and the 2.5 and the 2. Put them in there. And then, last but not least, scissors and a needle nose pliers, which is very commonly what I'm grabbing for to fix stuff. So there it is. That's the finished product. Yeah, I really like this. I think it's going to work out very well, and I'll continue to fill out this board as time goes on. So anyways, thanks for being here with me today, and come on back anytime you want. Or, whenever time I make a video, you're welcome to join. But yeah, thanks for being here, and let's get building.